News!
I baked you a pie. Oh boy, what flavor? Rob?
I can hear you. You don't have to yell, you weirdos.
Hi, Rob!
What up, monsters?
Hello.
It's the end of the world as we know it.
You're stuck in California, right?
I'm not stuck in California, darling. I made the choice to be here rather than be in a ghost town with a bunch of people losing
I
their minds.
baked you a pie. Oh boy, what
baked-
flavor?
you baked-
Pie, pie, pie.
You baked me a pie.
Dad, I'm hungry. Hi, hungry. I died. Why'd you name me this way?
Alright,
Why?
so
Ow, ow, Daisy.
literally 30 seconds in, ow, ow, Daisy. I'm amazed and I miss it.
So, we've been doing boring homeschool.
You got,
And,
how's that? Wait.
I
Hang
love
on,
the
hang on,
switchblade.
hang on. I gotta ask questions. You doing homeschool?
Yeah.
How is that like through a computer, like with your teacher or something?
Well, next week we're gonna do it with our teacher, but right now we're just gonna do what our dad tells us.
Oh, okay. So how's Daddy as a teacher?
Can I go now? He's good.
Okay.
I'm passing Penelope on the microphone, but
I can hear. You know, you both can talk. I can hear you both.
Hello. But we can't hear you.
Oh.
If somebody's wearing the headphones,
Well,
then the other person can't hear you.
I see. Copy that. I'm with you now.
Yeah.
So, you seen good movies lately? What's up?
yeah, we've seen really good movies.
Like, what'd you see?
So
we've
we've seen Onward.
Oh, how was that?
We've
Was that
seen
good?
Onward.
That's good, yeah.
Okay.
We watch Pete
Pete.
and Ted and
And
Ted and Pete's Excellent Adventure.
Bill and Ted.
Oh yeah, Bill and Ted.
Ted and
Excellent
Pete.
Adventure.
Were you even watching? What? Ted and Pete. Oh, I love you so much.
Bye, Rob.
I love
See
you.
you in 4,000 more months.
Okay, well,
Bye, Rob. I love you.
I love you too.
Bye. Love you. Bye, bye.
Okay, thank you
Jesus
very much.
Christ.
Take that energy outside. Thank you. Bye, guys.
You're gonna lose your
Lord.
fucking mind.
What was that?
I said, you're gonna lose your fucking mind. How long do you have him like that? Holy shit! Holy shit!
5 weeks.
Oh my
I have
god! You're gonna lose your...
No school
See,
for 5 weeks.
Wow. If I was there, it would be ridiculous. It'd be a jungle gym. You'd be like, every 2 seconds, you'd be like, get off of Rob. Leave
Yeah,
Rob
well-
alone.
Here's the other thing, because, and I talked to you a little bit about this in the text message, if you were to come here, you would have to stay here
I
the
know.
full 5 weeks.
Wait, seriously?
In our apartment, I mean.
No, that's crazy.
Because-
that's not true.
Well, because we have the neighbors downstairs with kids, and we have Alice and Mirka and all of them upstairs, and Alice's health is not great, so we're trying to limit the amount of people that come into the apartment.
Word.
So if you came over, that's fine, but you cannot leave.
That's insane.
Yes.
What do you mean? I mean, that doesn't even make sense. Like, why not? Like,
No, it doesn't.
like like the danger is me coming over and not leaving. If I don't leave, like, what if I brought the shit in? You're gonna have me in there the whole time? Then that don't make no sense.
It's so contagious that if you came over and you had it, you would give it to one of us or it's multiple of us, and we would all spread it around. You know what I mean? And then we would all get it.
Right. So keeping me there is the answer to that.
Well, not having you come over at all is the answer, but let's just say that you're pretty sure that you haven't gotten it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
So then you come over. But if you were to come over like every couple of days because there's nothing else to do and you're bored and you want to hang with me and we want to game and be boys.
Legitimately the only thing that I've got on the I got nothing on the horizon. Everything for me had dried up. Everything.
Yep.
So I haven't even really spoken. I'm on this thread with like my friends from back home who are all like like there's a couple of them out here in California. There's a few home in Texas, and I've been on this thread, but I haven't been. I muted the thread, but I keep checking in, and it keeps getting like more and more about COVID, and it's just like you can tell it's on everyone's mind, and I'm like, I'm not thinking about it at all, other than the fact that it has wiped out how I make my living. So for the foreseeable future, I don't give a fuck about this disease other than that.
Right, but are you going out at all? Are you?
I mean, but like I never like this whole self quarantine, social distancing shit. That's just me on an off day. That's literally like when I don't have work.
Yeah. Oh wait, 1 second. Welcome to What We Into. I'm your host Lawrence Dow. I'm here with my co-host.
You motherfucker.
Let's just do an intro.
Have you been recording this whole time?
Oh yeah, of course.
And I'm your boy Rob Carmen Robinson. You motherfucker. I honest to God thought all of that shit was before Mike started.
Oh, it's all recorded, baby.
You ain't shit.
Yeah, so you're not going out that much anyways. Because you weren't a person who went out
I wasn't really
a lot.
person that go out like, and because I'm in a fucking city by myself that I don't know. Actually, before we jump off, I got the door open because it's literally been like the first, like basically. I'll get into the story because it's been a fucking week. Hang on a second.
Oh, I want to hear it. Good. This is also our news segment, by the way. We'll do a check-in. How big is the place that you went? Sounds like you went down 2 different hallways, turned right past the pool.
Okay, you know what I will do is this week I will send you. I made a video of what my place looks like one of the first nights I got in. I'll send it to you. But all right, so
I don't want some 2-hour video.
It's not that big. It's bigger than my place. It's bigger than my place in New York, though. It is bigger than my place in New York, though.
That was the longest hallway walk I've ever heard.
It wasn't okay. I stepped out into the foyer, and the grand wing was under construction, so that's all the noise you heard. So I'm sorry about the cavernous sound. Okay.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay. So.
Right. So. Yeah. So.
So I'm gonna.
You want to go first, or I'll go first?
I mean, you go first. I mean, I feel like your story is gonna be a little bit more dire than mine because you have participants and responsibilities. Mine's a little bit more petty. So you go first.
It really hasn't been that bad until today. And today is not that bad, to be quite honest.
So when did it start for you? When was the first day that it was like, schools are done, you got the kids now, probably for X amount of time, parents, good luck.
Yeah, so today's Thursday the 19th, right?
Today is
I didn't go to school. Yeah, I didn't go to work. I was going to say school. I didn't go to work on Friday. I went last Thursday, so a week ago I went to work, and that's when all the coronavirus stuff was blowing up, and everybody was very much like, oh yeah, we're going to end up canceling schools. That's probably going to happen. There was no official word yet, but everybody was predicting.
So everyone was bracing for the inevitable ability of it happening.
And it was my last day as a waiter, and it was really uncomfortable.
Oh, wow.
It just felt weird going up to each table and looking at people and knowing that like we're all probably very contagious and being like, what can I get you to put in your mouth?
But see, I don't even know. See, I feel like that is how this shit is getting hyped, and yes, I know a bunch of people are dying from it or have contracted it, but they're not even talking about the bunch of people who are straight up just recovered from it too.
Sure, you're still missing the major. What is that sound in your apartment?
Oh, that's the PlayStation.
Yeah, turn that shit off.
I think it is off.
Yeah, so there was like, oh, now it's my apartment. Oh my god. Now it's the heating in my apartment. Anyway, forget it. So yeah, you don't, I feel like you don't understand like still the main thing that's happening here. Like, we have to stop the spread of this thing, right? Otherwise, it won't be just, 20, 30, 40,000 people that die in the United States. It'll be millions, right?
Okay.
Right, but you don't care about that.
I think 1 million people can go and we'll be fine. Yes.
Not a million, millions.
To a country that has, 300 million?
327 million.
Okay,
yeah.
So, yeah.
You don't have anybody in your life that's an older person that you would not want to die.
A few, but I mean, if that happens, that happens. I don't understand the like, protect yourself so you don't get it. If you get it, take care of yourself so you don't die. If you die, sorry, I don't know, man. Like I don't know.
Well, no,
I don't feel it. No, I don't know. I don't see the need to panic.
How are you protecting yourself not to get it?
Well, like I said, I already practice social distancing because my life is social distancing. I'm not out and about like that, and I don't get sick like that. And if I do get sick, I stay away from fucking people, as you're supposed to do. Simple.
Right.
It's basic, simple shit. Wash your fucking hands. Easy.
Right.
Now everybody's up in arms about washing hands. I've been doing this shit. So like,
right.
I'm not the motherfucker that gets this kind of shit.
Right.
Point blank.
Okay.
Period.
Yeah, because I think if it was a different age range, if it was like this is primarily the 1 or 2% that it's affecting is 35 to 45-year-olds,
then I'd feel away.
Right?
I probably would definitely feel away.
You know, because then it would be everybody that you know and you love.
Yeah. Then I'd feel away.
Roughly your age. Right.
I would absolutely, because I would be at risk. So would everybody that I know. That concerns me.
Right. So it doesn't concern you, just so we're clear, it doesn't concern you because it's an older population.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I mean, that's
it's honest.
That's the way of the shit.
Listen, when I said that we were going to start the podcast, that we always needed to have an opposing viewpoint, I didn't mean it had to become so dire.
Look, I don't know if you know this about me, but I've been telling motherfuckers shit has been dire for about 10 years. I've been saying it out loud. True. Nobody listens to me, bro. And that's why I feel like at this point, I don't have the gloves is off. Like, I'm going to say what I'm going to say because I've been saying the shit. I've been saying it.
Yeah. But if you could do, and you're already doing this, so it doesn't matter. You're social distancing and you're washing your hands. It's not like you're deliberately going out, not washing your hands, or you know that you've caught the virus.
You know how many times I've gone to a bathroom and watched a motherfucker handle himself and then just walk the fuck off?
Since the coronavirus?
I'm talking about like just in day-to-day goings around, just like living life. There's so many motherfuckers that do that. I never understand it. I never understand. I'm like, you not even gonna watch it? And I bet money. I'm like, I be seeing this shit. I be like, yo, I bet that same motherfucker be the one that want to touch a motherfucker's face when he see him. He be the same motherfucker to run up and like put his hand on somebody's face and shit. Them the motherfuckers susceptible to get this shit. I'm not that motherfucker.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, my daily routine right now with the girls, right, is we wake up and we're not waking up at 8:30 like school time because fuck that, we're not gonna do that thing. That's dumb.
Wait. All right.
But we're waking up around I'm waking up around 9:30. Daisy's still waking up around 7:30, around the same time that Laurel wakes up.
Just so we're clear, this isn't just you and the kids. This is you, the kids, and Laurel. Everybody's on lockdown. Everybody's here.
Mm-hmm.
Now
everybody's home.
Has New York gotten to the shelter in place mode yet, where they're telling motherfuckers to you can't go out kind of shit? Because it's not like that here in Sacramento. Like, there are some bars are still open. People are still out and about. I've been out and about. Yeah. Like, I've gone and gotten groceries. I tried to go to the movies yesterday, but
the movies are still open.
No,
they're
were closed
here.
But like the Fandango sites that are telling you that they're showtimes.
Oh, that's sketchy.
Fucking sketchy as fuck.
So sketchy.
And so and it wasn't like we didn't try. I tried calling like one of the bigger ones, but they send you through. You can't get a real person on the phone. They just send you through like the automated shit. So I was like, I've been on too many automated fucking menus this week. I'm not doing it. Fuck it. Let's just roll. So we rolled up there because Fandango has showtimes and plastered with placards. Coronavirus shutdown. All of it.
There's no bars open. If they are, then they're not supposed to be open.
Really?
There's still grocery shopping.
Yeah.
There's still occasionally people on the streets, but everybody's keeping their distance. So like yesterday,
this is crazy.
Yesterday, like Bertrand, Allison, Lucien, and baby Nina downstairs went out with us.
Uh-huh.
So the two families went out together, and we just went for a walk around the neighborhood.
You guys are risking some shit. Ooh. I bet somebody better not take no photo because it would be wild.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely felt like maybe we were getting looks like, oh wow, you're letting your kids play together, but they don't understand the context of we are already living together. So if any one of us gets it, if I get it, everybody in our house is going to get it. That's how contagious this is. You know what I mean? So yeah, we went out, but we didn't really like shake hands or do anything. We did stop and get margaritas to go.
Nice.
There was one place.
Nice.
Bar Bruno.
Wait.
Yeah.
You guys went out and got margaritas, so it's warm enough to drink margaritas, but you got the heat on in the apartment?
No, it's not quite warm enough. These were still on ice, but you know what, man? Beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah, right.
Margaritas on ice
Look,
in the winter is
you're
still
right.
better than no margaritas on
Listen,
ice in the winter.
Turn around, preacher. You talking to the choir.
Who? What?
So I'm going to jump into my
Who's
week
behind me?
and what went down with
What?
me. You there?
Someone was just behind me. I swear to God. You said turn around. Anyways,
Whoa.
go on.
Whoa. See,
tell
I
me
told
about
you,
your
bro.
week.
You're losing it, bro. You're already losing it.
Huh?
You're like, this motherfucker's behind me. This is exactly the beginning of The Shining, bro.
Get off me, kid.
This is exactly the beginning of The Shining, bro. I don't even know if you remember that, but that's how it went down.
Well, before you go into your thing, let me just say I am homeschooling. I am homeschooling
You're the
Daisy
teacher.
and homeschooling Penelope. I am the teacher.
my
Laurel's helping out
God.
as well, but she has work as well. So
Wow.
I'm giving them all these like math and reading every day and
Uh-huh.
like different things and it's not too bad.
So-
as long as I don't try to do anything for myself other than that.
So do you think once this shit passes, you got a career as a teacher for
I
children?
can do that shit, no problem. Done. Boom.
You're a better man than
good
me.
at it.
You're a better
Yeah.
man than me. See, Larry, you're a better man because you know what? And I think I've already told you why I can't be a teacher. You know,
Why?
I told-
Is that pedophilia case in the 80s?
see, that's how rumors get started, and now I can never work in Hollywood, or maybe I might work in Hollywood now. I don't know.
You'll get more jobs
I,
now.
I don't know. Maybe that leaks.
He's one of us.
Yeah. Let him into the room. Where's your mask? Oh, you're already wearing it. All right, fine, come in.
Perfect.
No, I'll fight a kid. I will absolutely fight a child. I'm petty like that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm petty.
Sure.
You know that.
Yeah.
I'm petty.
You can also take them. So that's,
Exactly. I'm like 6'5". They can't beat
Yeah.
me.
You can't touch you. Take on multiple kids at once.
I mean, that's honestly been a dream of mine.
Yeah.
That's actively been a dream of mine too. I feel like there's a movie where Will Ferrell does that in Step Brothers, right? Yes.
I think so.
At the end of the movie Step Brothers with him and John C. Reilly, they go into a park and just proceed to fuck up a bunch of like 8 to 10-year-olds. Like it's amazing. It's a dream of mine, and they brought it to life in high definition. I know. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm living your dream right now, man. So
Well, no, you're living my nightmare. I couldn't imagine.
Oh,
I
right.
couldn't imagine that. No, I would definitely have to lock myself in the bathroom and just turn the light on and off for 50,000 times or something. I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it, man.
so what's your day like, Rob?
Okay, well, honestly, I mean, this is gonna sound bad. I don't want anyone who's listening to freak out. I'm okay. This is actually the first day that I rolled out of bed, and I was mostly sober. So,
What?
yeah, kudos to me. Kudos.
Are you
to this
okay?
guy. Me?
Yeah.
Totes. Oh yeah. Oh, totes.
I'm more worried that you're mostly sober than not sober.
Well, don't worry, Larry. I'm working on it.
You made it. You made it to 1 o'clock.
I did.
1:30.
I did. And I'm living kind of my best life, but also my worst. I'm vacillating somewhere between that gift of that gift of Oprah with her arms raised, yelling like ah.
Yes.
And
you sent it to me. It's
the one I sent to you. But I'm vacillating between that and Doc Holliday. I have you've seen it, the one I sent you, right?
yeah, sure.
That's what I am.
I forget what was the Doc Holliday meme. Was it "I'm in my prime"? Or
I think it's I have not yet begun to defile myself.
right.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you what went down. So,
Okay.
So last week, this is probably the 12th, maybe. No, yeah, let's say no. It was like the 10th, like Tuesday,
So 9 days ago.
9 days ago. Like things, like the news started getting a little bit more fevered about talking about this thing. And the rumor, the buzz around the theater was that possibly in order to sort of like keep the doors on and keep the lights on and keep the show running, that they were going to extend the show for 3 more weeks and reduce the house count so that they could let less people in and keep the doors on, keep the lights on.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That was Tuesday. By Friday, which was 3 days later, we were all meeting to have a discussion about what was going to happen, and there was that we went from this like, oh, they're extending the show 3 more weeks to we're closing the show tonight, but you guys have to vote on whether or not you want to perform tonight. Yeah.
Did you guys? How'd that vote go?
Well, it was Friday the 13th, and we all were. I didn't know any of this at the time. I didn't know I didn't know it was Friday the fucking 13th, but of course it was. Of course it was. And it's almost a year to the day from when you remember last year when I was on a gig and then subsequently wasn't on a gig, and we don't have to go into the details. That
Was it the year to the day?
It was almost a year to the day.
Oh my god.
Almost. So there was that plus the Friday the 13th. And so the vote went. We were going to do it. Like, as far as I'm concerned, that's the job, and that's what we do. I don't care how many people show up. If the lights are on and people come, we doing it. That's how I'm
doing it for one person.
I'll do it for one.
Yeah.
I'll do it for one. I don't care. That's the job.
You won't do it for 0 though.
If you're doing it for zero, that's a rehearsal. Turn the lights off and
That's
go
a
home.
rehearsal. Yeah. And either you need the rehearsal or you don't. And if you don't need it, then don't do it.
We didn't need the rehearsal.
Right.
This shit was about to cook. It was second
Right.
week. It was open. It was second weekend of opening. It was about to cook.
Right.
So we did it for family and friends that night. Basically, all the staff of the theater came and brought their families, and whoever had tickets and was willing to brave sickness or infection or whatever came. And we did one last fucking amazing performance of this show. And then
I bet that performance was great.
it was incredible. I mean, it was filled with what everyone had to deal with, because we got the news early in the day. We got it around noon. We all went in and met at the theater around the conference table and took our vote and got the news, and then we all had time to go away before the show to get ready. And I just started drinking. I just started drinking. Like, I went back to my place after getting news, drank enough to be good enough to do the show, did one of the blowoutest shows that I could. Show came down, started drinking again. And then I drank from the 13th all the way to, what's today, the 19th? Yeah.
The 19th.
I drank from the 13th to the 18th.
So pretty standard fare.
Yeah, but this one was with a little bit more gusto, with a little bit more anguish. I was drinking like I drank when I showed up at Evansville, except now my body could handle it. It's like
Right.
It's like like you said, it's like par for the course kind of thing. But
Are you drinking? Because you normally have the rule of no liquor in your house.
Yeah.
Are you drinking liquor or just
yeah,
drinking
both. I'm drinking
beer?
everything. I'm drinking everything.
Oh, wow,
Everything's
okay.
getting drunk now.
So it's all just 6 days blurring together. Of
No,
blurry
it's not
blurriness.
been too blurry. I mean, even amidst that drinking, I've been hydrating, so I wake up feeling fine, so I can just wake up and have another beer. It's weird because during all this period, I haven't been eating that much, but it hasn't bothered the drinking. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
It's weird.
Sure.
It's weird.
Yeah, because you're not doing anything.
Yeah,
so there's
I
no
think
calories.
I think that's exactly it. But
You're getting all of your-
but the thing is, I'm getting as drunk as I am. I'm still doing my calisthenics. I'm still managing to get up, get down, enough times to keep shit tight.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's still really, really, really bad for your body, by the way.
Oh yeah, I know. Of course I
It's
know.
absolutely terrible.
That. Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah.
really, really, really bad.
Yeah, but some people can take it, some can't. I can take it.
I could not take it.
Yeah,
On
but you're
my
also
list of many things I could.
You're also
Huh?
5'3" and wiry. But
I just couldn't. I can't be a drunk. Like I can't be. Not that you're a drunk, but I can't
Oh,
be an
no.
alcoholic. I can't like that feeling of I feel like crap when I wake up. Let me double down and
I don't.
And
That's the thing. I don't feel like crap.
and maybe that's it. Maybe I have never pushed myself to the limit of feeling so crappy that it doesn't
that makes
work
it.
anymore.
Yeah, I
You know?
don't feel like crap. Like I said, like as much as I have been drinking, I've also been equally quick to. Oh, I can't be this drunk. I still got more smoking to do because I've been drinking and smoking. With the Dwayne weed being where it is, and with nothing basically on the docket to do, I've just been drinking and smoking for 6 days.
Yeah. Well,
And that's the other part of my week, which was trying to get on unemployment right now.
Oh, right. Yeah, good luck.
Holy shit!
Oh, wait, yeah. Before I talk about the thing I was going to talk about just a second ago. What's the financial situation for you guys now that the show has been cut? Are they
gave
paying
us
you to stay?
No, I have my apartment here to the end of the month.
Mm-hmm.
And we got two more. We got basically today was payday. I thought we were getting the last 2 weeks because they're basically paying us for 2 more weeks. That's the severance rider,
Got it.
because we didn't run long enough to make it to them paying us the whole rest of our contract. Because basically, I'm now short 3 weeks from what was the initial contract.
Right.
But if we had made it into next week, they would have had to pay us for the entirety of the run. However, because we didn't make it into that, they're only paying us for the next 2 weeks. And I got one check today. I thought it was going to be a lump sum for the rest of it. It is not. They're going to give us another check next week. So looks like I'm going to stick around and get another check.
Well, at least they're not asking for their money back.
Yeah, like, oh my God. Yeah, let's talk about that shit. Can you believe that?
Right.
Do you fucking believe
so
that? Oh, you better tell them because
different.
You better tell them because I'm in my I'm just getting back to like even keel with my emotions because like I said, I've been just basically drinking and smoking and sleeping for the.
Yeah, I do want to say because I want to pause that real quick as well. The bad news that I got at the beginning of the week.
Yeah.
Really terrible. Heartbreaking bad news. I don't want to mention what it is specifically. If you know me and you know the friends that I have, then you understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
It has been that thing that, and this is just my experience with it, and not I can't even imagine being the people who it directly affects their experience of it. But it's true heartbreak and it's true grief and it's true pain.
Absolutely.
And I looked at the clock on this recording. It said like 26 minutes. And I was like, oh, I hadn't thought of this for 26 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And that's, you know what I mean? And that's like, because this thing keeps popping up, this bad thing that happened to mutual friends of ours, this horrible, tragic thing.
Did you know and before I reached out and was like, hey,
yes.
You knew before that?
Yeah, Nick Mills had sent me and said, hey, what's so-and-so's address? I want to send them something.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Wow.
And then as soon as he said that, I knew what it was about,
right.
and I went immediately to Facebook and saw a post,
right.
and immediately was like, "Oh my God, this is like the worst thing that I know that has ever happened to anybody."
I couldn't even. I honestly, I reached out to Jay because he's my boy and I love him.
Yeah.
He was one of the OG beef motherfuckers. We did beef together, and I love him for it.
Right.
But I couldn't even bring myself to reach out to LJ. I just told him, I was like, look, pass that along.
It's one and the same.
I couldn't even bring myself to reach out and be like, I am so sorry. Because I have no words. There's nothing I could say.
Yeah. So I don't want to talk about that anymore, but I just want to say that a lot of my thought and a lot of my emotions and a lot of my feeling is going towards them.
Same.
For the best.
125%. Because I can't imagine it. Two of the best people and some of the most tragic shit.
They do not deserve this at all. Anyway. They deserve the exact opposite.
Anyway, let's talk about how these theaters are asking for their money back from playwrights now.
Yes.
The fuck?
So you're lucky that you're even getting paid because the Pulitzer Prize winning playwrights Lynn Nottage and Annie Baker are among those playwrights who've been asked to give back advances because of the coronavirus epidemic.
That is insane.
Yeah.
How dare you? How fucking dare you?
Yeah.
Well, honestly, I gotta give it up. I mean, B Street has done really right by everybody,
right.
not just this production and the people involved in it, but like their entire staff. Like they're actively trying to keep cats around. Like like a lot of theaters, they do interns and have interns, but they were like, look, you guys can stay around if you want to. You're already here, whatever, and we'll try to find things to keep you around to do. But if you want to go home, we release you. You don't because I think they have like an 8-month contract, these interns with the theater,
right?
And they were like, look, we'll if you want to go home, you can go home and harm no foul. But if you want to stick around, we'll try to find ways to work you in the theater at least. You know what I'm saying? So like they've been really like. I hope whenever this theater gets back up and popping again that they have me back out because I mean, I like their vibe, their energy, and this show would have crushed, and especially like they don't do this kind of the kind of theater that this show was. They're not typically doing in this market with this demographic. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And just in the few performances that we did get to do, you could tell that there was an ache or a need for this kind of work. So I wish them the best. They really did do right by Cats, and I just wanted to say that off top.
Right. So there's a couple things going on here. Like these theaters have given advancements to these playwrights or any playwright.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's how you commission
for a
new work.
commission.
Yeah, that's
Right.
how it works.
So Lynn Nottage and Annie Baker, they said, okay, we're going to give you this amount of money, and you're going to sit down, and you're going to write a play for us.
Right.
And then we're going to get the exclusive of producing that play
Right.
in our theater this year.
Pretty standard, right? In our line of work, that's pretty fucking standard.
Then coronavirus comes, and then they say, oh, you know what? Since we can't put that play up, even though you've already put work towards thinking about it, towards writing it, towards researching it, we want that advance back.
Is that fair?
Right?
Because I don't think any of that is fair.
No, it's not fair at all.
Okay. So that's one thing this project, we can agree completely that shit is fucked up.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Not fair at all. Writers are, among the few theater industry workers who are not unionized. Right?
Which is insane. How is that still a thing? How do writers not have a union?
Because theaters don't want us to have a union.
Wow.
Right? Because the entire
It's not in their best
operation is
interest.
built
on the words.
Is so. What was that?
It's built on the words.
It's built on the words, but everything is so threadbare. It's just like our medical industry right now and our insurance and all these things. Everything is pulled so thin so that everybody can make the most amount of money, right?
What you're saying is they don't care about the people. It's about making money at all costs.
We're not getting writers don't they don't have collective bargain compensation. They don't have health insurance. They don't get unemployment.
Oh wow! I actually met the writer of the show that we were doing. And
that was my other question I was going to ask you. Yeah,
he's a phenomenal fucking writer, bro.
Yeah.
I sat in on a reading he did. His name is Evan Linder, and I guess he's been on the tear recently because apparently he wrote this play, and you should look it up. I had never heard of it. He's a Chicago guy. He wrote 5 Lesbians Eating a Quiche.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've heard of it, but apparently it was a hit in Chicago, and a bunch of places have picked up. This play right now that we're doing out here, the Kennedy Center did it last year, which is why this theater had to wait to do it, because one of the girls in my cast had a relationship with this guy. Like they were like founding members of this theater company in Chicago. That's like kind of where they met and kind of how this it's such a confluence of interesting of how everybody got to be in this cast. Like my castmates were some of the this was the Avengers for this play, if that makes sense. It was 5 of us, right?
Okay.
And every single one of the people that was cast in the show was exactly the person for the roles that they were in. Nice. Peter's story included. They were exactly right, every single one of us. And so, like, when meeting on that first day around the table, and I don't know if I ever spoke about it when we were talking in previous podcasts, but like I looked around the table and I had the work was already done. I had already looked into the future, Doctor Strange style, and saw the outcome of how good this show was going to be.
Right.
Because that was just the confluence of like everybody got there through these weird sort of circumstances, knowing like I knew Peter. Peter had been an intern at this theater for 20 or he was 20 years ago, and now he's like the mayor running around doing all these different things there.
How many seat house?
The space that we were in 250.
Okay, so pretty big house.
Yeah, pretty sizable. And then they have another space that seats like I think 3 and change or something like that.
Okay, so this is a big organization.
I mean, it's a brand new theater. They literally cut the ribbon on this thing 2 years ago. Like,
right,
and
but this is also cut the ribbon 2 years ago. But this is also a multi-million-dollar theater.
Yes. Well, the land that they got in and of itself it used to be hospital land. In the hospital, like because there's a hospital like not a stone's throw away from where we're working. I guess they granted them this land, which was like worth some ridiculous millions. I don't know if it was double-digit millions or just under 10, but
Right.
a good swath of land that alone was worth a couple million.
Right. So it would not be appropriate for this theater of this size to
give
say,
it the-
"Hey, could we have our couple $1,000s that we gave you for
Back.
that commission coming up next year that we're behind on and we need all the money we can
Yeah.
keep in order to keep our theater open? Could we have that money back?"
It would not be a good look.
Right.
Yeah.
There's very, very few playwrights in America who can actually write plays and make a living at it.
Real talk.
Because the process of writing a play, right,
Real talk.
takes a long time. You can't. Some playwrights are faster than others, but for me, it takes me anywhere from a year to 2 years to write one play.
Wow.
Right, and that's juggling my whole life and my kids and all the things I have.
Well, can I ask you a question? Because
Yeah.
I remember asking you to write me a play back in the day, and this was like
Yeah.
right before you were graduating, and I honestly didn't think you had taken me seriously at all. And
Right.
one of the most surprising, and to this day, one of the most life affirming things, which is why I will love you forever in your family. When you handed that to me, it was like, here. And I read it. It was so brilliantly done. It was such exactly what I wanted. It was such a vehicle for what I do that I wanted. It should have been my senior SEM project. It should have been what I
Right, but
presented.
it wasn't.
It wasn't. And
Because?
I'm not going to go into that. I'm not going to go. You know that
No,
story.
no. Well, here's my version of why it wasn't. It wasn't because I just missed the deadline for you. You had just decided to do something else with somebody else. Right?
No, that's not how I remember it.
What I remember, you ended up doing something with Nick Mills, right?
No, that's what I wanted to do with Nick Mills, and I was trying to get him to do it with me, and he wasn't sure, and it wasn't until like the last minute that he was like, "I'm going to do this instead," and I didn't have the time. There was no longer any time to do it. That I did something else. I did something.
Well, in your defense, I think there was a bit of a time crunch towards the end there, right? And then had I given it to you about a week earlier or finished it a week earlier,
It might have.
and you might have done it.
Or
And all of that
I
is just to
might have
say-
gotten someone else to do it with me.
Right, and all of that is to say, plays take a long time to write.
Right.
And so if you're going to give to make a living at a playwright is hard enough. People like Annie Baker and Lynn Nottage, they get royalties from all of their plays. They
Right.
win Pulitzer Prizes. Those plays are produced across the country.
Right.
You know what I mean? They can make a living at it.
Mm-hmm.
It's still not. It's not representative of how much work goes into their plays.
Not
though.
at all. Not at all.
You know what I mean? Definitely not comparable to, let's say, a screenwriter who sells a screenplay for $500,000.
I mean, motherfucking Stephen King. Questionable as some of his shit may be, he has this ability to churn and crank and just press this shit out. I don't know how he does it, but it amazes me. I'm amazed by it. That's all I'll say.
Right. So while we're sympathetic to the plight of theaters, it's totally unfair to ask artists for their money back. And so good on the theater that you're working for actually just giving that 2-week advance. You know,
it's like like I said, I wish them well because they've done right by a lot of people. Like I've been to theater. I've been to a lot of theaters like in the almost 20 years I've been in the game now, and this is one of the places where I've seen them at least do really good. Oh, fuck me.
well, what are you doing?
I just dropped a whole beer behind. Anyway, they do really well by a lot of people, so good on them.
So a lot of things have been canceled,
Everything
right?
is,
Or suspended
Earth
or
has been
delayed
canceled. Earth has been
on the
canceled.
movie side and TV side of things.
Yeah. You hear about
Right.
Black Widow?
Yep. Also, including Black Widow's No Time to Die, which we already knew
Well,
about.
we talked about it last
that
week.
was the first one,
Yeah,
right?
we talked about it last week.
Quiet Place Part 2.
No shit.
Fast and Furious 9.
Uh-huh. Wow.
Kamal
Wow.
Nanjiani's The Lovebirds.
Okay, wow. I
Blue
didn't know
Story.
this list is larger than I realized.
Okay. I'm going to rattle them off, so just listen to all these movies. The Artist's Wife. If you hear any movie you want to know about, just let me know. I'll tell you what it is.
All right.
The Artist's Wife, which is a Bruce Dern and Lena Olin film.
Mm-hmm.
The Truth.
Mm-hmm.
Mulan has been postponed.
I heard about that.
It was meant to open March 27th.
I heard
That was
about it.
Disney.
Yep.
The New Mutants, which has been postponed,
Postponed again.
again.
That poor movie.
That was supposed to be April 3rd.
Poor movie. Can't get a
Antlers. An indie horror film from director Scott Cooper. It was supposed to come out April 17th. Has been postponed. No release date in sight. Bros, which is a Billy Eichner romantic comedy, has been postponed. The Little Mermaid.
Wait, is Billy Eichner the dude who screams at people on the street?
Let's just say yes. Pretty soon we're all going to be screaming at people on the streets, Rob.
I think that's his show, right? He like runs up and like screams questions at people on the street. Billy Eichner on the street. I think that's the fucking name of the show.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Oh, so he has a romantic comedy coming out
called Bros.
Oh, okay, cool.
Bro. Little Mermaid.
Wait, what?
The Halle Bailey, excuse me, that was supposed to start production in London this week. Shang-Chi and the Legend of Ten Rings. Because not only is it postponing, not only is it postponing movies that were supposed to come out now and theaters are closed. So I think that's fair. Yeah, you obviously cannot release your movie in the movie theaters if those are closed. But productions of movies that were supposed to come out later in 2021 have been postponed.
This
right.
Dude, this is some of the most unprecedented shit in, like, human history, I feel like.
Yeah.
Well,
Guillermo del Toro's Nightmare Alley with Bradley Cooper has been postponed. Shrunk, the comedy that was basically Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, which is going to bring back Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis was coming back?
Yeah, man. That was one of my, weeks ago, feels like years. Weeks ago, I had that piece of news, and we just missed it, and I never brought it up. But yeah, he's coming back for that.
Oh my God, dude, that is huge. You had news about Rick Moranis, and you kept it from me.
I know. I'm sorry, bro.
Fucking disown you.
I didn't keep it. We missed. We ran out of time. And the list goes on and on. Pretty much anything that was being made.
Dude, Earth is canceled. That's what I said at the top, man. Like,
yeah,
the list of like. When the NBA canceled, I was like, wait a minute. That's the nation's Buck show.
Right.
And they're shutting the Buck show down?
Yep.
The Buck show was the starting of the dominoes. It's been and I was like, holy shit. I honestly didn't expect it to get this far. I figured that people would kind of like taper off a little bit and be like, it's not that bad, but I guess it is that bad. I mean,
oh yeah, man.
I guess it is that bad. I don't know.
It is really that bad. And what's my wife is a little bit obsessed with this, but she keeps pointing out how this is the first time the entire world, possibly since like World War II, has been involved in an issue that affects every single person.
Yeah.
So there's something really interesting about that
to
me. That even the rich, even people who are usually insulated from this kind of annoyance, from this kind of like,
I feel like to a certain degree they still are, based on the response of our government and this particular White House and what has happened. Like it literally went like all this shit happened in like less than 9 days. It hadn't even been 2 weeks.
Right.
It hadn't even been 2 weeks, Larry.
But if a rich person wants to go see Black Widow on the day it comes out, they can't do that.
Oh.
You know what I mean? They want to go to a movie theater, they can't do that. They want to go to a bar, they can't do that.
You know what?
They can have their own bars and their own movie theaters.
Yeah, they don't have to. That shit is all just about status. They don't have to leave their homes if they want, and that's that. See, I feel like that is the difference,
right?
Because like,
but they can still.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say because I was watching something in a bar the other day. It was like Extra, the entertainment news show or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And and they're still on the air, and they're using this moment to still like the particular segment that I caught was like one of the anchors thought she had coronavirus, so they made it a segment and look at how she's self-isolating herself and I was just like this is tone deaf to me. This sends the wrong message. You know what I'm saying? Like some friends of mine who I love dearly, like they chose like this moment to like jump off their like, hey, we go to spas and we rate spas, and this is our show dedicated to it, in this time. I was like, I don't know if it sends the wrong. It's kind of tone deaf. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna critique spas and tell us about the interesting people you meet at spas and stuff, while the rest of us are like, how we eating tomorrow?
Oh, I see what you're saying. So they're still going to spas during all this? That's
well,
really
I don't know if they're
gross.
I don't know if they're going to spas, but this is they're producing content of I guess past trips. They took this moment in time to sort of release these series of episodes for this thing that they're trying to get off the ground, which I understand, hustling as an artist in this time, but like just the content seems a little tone deaf to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
right.
Nobody wants to watch you get spa treatments and talk to interesting people that you meet at the spas right now. Is what I was in my head. What I'm thinking, And these are two people that I consider dear.
I would say in their defense, and I don't know all the details, but I would say in their defense, people still do need ways to sort of escape, and will continuing in the next couple weeks or months, ways to escape the monotony and doldrum of everyday life. And if they've already gone out and they've already created the content, or they're finally getting around to putting out the content, I don't know if it's tone deaf so much as like
bad timing.
Here's it's just like us putting out this podcast. We could make a very serious podcast about all the different people that are dying and all the negative ways that the coronavirus is affecting, and we're doing some version of that. We're also going to talk about PlayStation 5 here in just a minute and backwards compatibility, right?
Yeah, because that's important.
Exactly. So, it's kind of the same thing. I think, life is going to change, and there's this feeling, there's this one moment coming up in the future that I'm kind of excited about.
Speak on that moment.
Yes, and I don't know exactly how it's going to go, but it's going to go something like this. The government says, okay, we've got this under control. Reopen the bars, reopen the movie theaters, reopen the restaurants.
Reopen everything.
Right?
The earth
I'm not saying life goes
today.
back to normal, because I don't know if life will ever be normal again after this, right?
In what way? What do you mean?
Well, I mean, we're lots of ways. So that's something I need to actually prepare more for. But yeah, I don't think this is a big change, and we're either going to get something negative out of it, like weapons of mass destruction as an excuse to go to war, based off the 9/11 thing, right? Those two things had no connection, but one was blamed on the other, right?
Well, I mean,
that's
I mean, I think it's gonna. Well, I'm sorry, I just want to point out that literally the president of this country got on TV and is calling this motherfucker the China virus,
right?
And
Kung flu,
and
motherfucker,
and when people have been like, "Yo, excuse me, Mr. President, don't you think that's racist and xenophobic?" He's doubled down and been like, nah, because it came from China. Right. I'm just trying to be accurate. Like,
yes, and so what I'm talking about here is like this country could take that, for example, and either become super racist, right? And that could have an impact on our relationships with China and all the Chinese or Asians in this country. Or we could respond to that and say, no more. This is it. We say no to this crap. And we vote him out of office.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
We don't know which way. There's a history.
I love you, and I know your heart.
I know your stance. I know you think that Trump's not going to win. I get it. I understand.
No, all right, finish that thought. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying that there's a version of there's two ways it can go, right? Because we could have a big sweeping change, either for good or either for bad. In the past, the 1%, the rich, have been able to use different things to make more money. 9/11, they made a lot of money. Okay? In 1930, we had the New Deal that passed. That was the opposite of the rich making a lot of money, right? This could help usher in the Green New Deal, right? This could help usher in Medicare for all.
Larry,
it could.
I love you, bro. I really do. Because I love you for this exact reason right here. Because
this isn't my idea, though.
I know it's not. No, I know it's not your idea. But just this has been you since I've known you. You're the silver lining, motherfucker. That is your MO since I've known you. You come in and you're like, yeah, but there's always this good shit, and I love you for that. I love you for that. Because I am the diametric opposite of you, and I think that's why I fucks with you so hard. Because
it's right.
Because that's insane. Yeah, no, yeah. I want like I feel like there's a part of me that used to be you, because I feel like because I'm cynical, and I'm the first one to admit that. But any cynic that you've ever met was just an idealist who got real, started facing reality. That's what it is. Like a cynic is just a person who was like, I want to do this, and this is how I want to be great in this. I want to show that we can be better, and like they had all these really great dreams that once they woke up to what the reality of the world is like, they were like, you know what? Fuck it! Middle finger everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And you've
Sure,
never,
but that does
and you're
nothing.
not you. That's not you. You've
I know.
never been
Well,
that. And I don't understand how you are, but I love it that you are because I fucks with you.
Because listen,
I
it's
fucks with you.
the importance of doing the understanding that you can do two things simultaneously. You can flip off the world and also consider how could I make that better, right?
Which is my cross. That's the diamond. That's why I'm diamond. Because like this is me in a nutshell. I'm like super misanthropic. Fuck humanity. We need an asteroid. But then I turn around. I look at like great art being done, or like that motherfucker Ben Lunkel who I was into this week. Like I'm like, fuck, humanity is so dope. Look at the shit that we've done. And then tomorrow I'll wake up and I'll be like, you know what? They need to bring back the dinosaurs. We need to be back in the food chain. Like you know what I'm saying? That's me right there. Every day I vacillate between loving humanity and being like, fuck, we out of pocket. We need a check. We out of
America
pocket.
is almost a failed state at this point, if not already a failed state.
Almost?
The government has abdicated its most basic responsibility, in protecting its citizens.
And look on
It was
whose
already
watch.
not doing that for persons of color.
And look
right?
on whose watch. A xenophobic,
Exactly.
homophobic, racist, misogynist.
Right.
Like,
we all know
are
who's
you-
to blame.
Are you not surprised?
Nobody's questioning who's to blame here. You know what I mean? Everybody knows it was Trump's fault. Everybody knows that all those things.
I don't see. That's the thing. I don't think everybody does. I think his I was literally watching like they did one of these quick cuts of like the Fox news commentators for the past like 2 weeks and how how their rhetoric has like flip-flopped.
Yes.
Have you
From
seen this
4
shit?
to 5 days? Yes. I saw the exact same thing. I was going to, you know what? And I'll put that at the end of this episode.
Have you
so
seen
you
that
can
shit?
listen to it in real time.
Bruh,
Yeah.
bruh, these motherfuckers, and I bet you, I bet money, it's not gonna mean a damn thing to them. It's not gonna mean a damn thing to them.
It doesn't have to mean a thing to 95% of them, but if it changes 5% of them,
You
right?
think he won't win?
It only takes about 5% of Republicans to switch, and if 5%, and which is roughly just a little under the amount of people that will potentially die because of the coronavirus, which is about 4%. Republicans themselves have been the least likely to take up measures to fight the coronavirus, which means they'll probably have a larger proportionate of people lost because of the coronavirus.
Yeah.
And if those people are able to look and say, how could have this not happened? And if they're able to intellectually, only
You're talking about
5%
self-awareness.
of them.
You're talking about self-awareness.
if only 5% of them can reach self-awareness, then we actually do have a shot. And that's what I'm talking about. That's that silver lining.
See, and that's why you're the silver lining motherfucker, and I love that about you. Like, if I ever made you into a comic, that's what I would make you. The silver lining
I'm going to give you a few
motherfucker.
more silver linings here about coronavirus.
Go ahead.
1, I'm playing a lot more video games. 2,
Yeah!
my sciatica has improved so much better. It's almost gone.
Because you're not on your
Because I've not been
goddamn
walking night after night on my feet at work as a waiter.
Okay.
Let's think. 3, I've become a lot closer with my neighbors downstairs. There's
Aw.
a sense when we go out now
Uh-huh.
that we would fight to the death for one another, which I
Because
appreciate.
it looks like the apocalypse, and we're already like, yo, you
Yeah.
on my team? Yo, I had one of my men reach out to me this week doing that
Yeah.
shit. He was like, yo, you good? Because like
Yeah.
if shit go down, I want you on my squad. He's
We're
like, I
making
got a
eye
lot
contact.
of guns.
Yeah, we're making eye contact differently. Me and Bertrand, we got a football thing going
Yeah,
on.
you
We're
do-
throwing the football.
You be doing the fingers to the eyes. I see you, you see me kind
That's
of
right.
shit.
That's right. 4. What's my other 4th thing? There's a clarity that's coming from all this, in that
Interesting. Speak on that. Speak on the clarity.
there's less for me to worry about by giving me one specific thing to worry about.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
That
I feel like that's the
I
trap.
don't have
though,
to-
Pimp. I feel like that is the trap because there's a part of me that wants to feel like there's a part of me that's like this is fucked up and completely crazy,
Mm-hmm.
but there's also a part of me that's like this is necessary because maybe this will wake some motherfuckers up to some shit.
Sure. The clarity is that there's just less. There's less. I'm at home. I'm with my family. for the time being, everybody's healthy. These are the things I need to do to keep them healthy. And in the end, that's really all that matters at this moment. You know what I mean?
Do you
There's
find
food
yourself
in the stores?
Did you find yourself hunkering down and consuming? Do you find yourself consuming more?
No, because I still got to take time to like make sure that they're educated, that they're taken care of.
I see.
You know what I mean?
You guys are
that
doing
we
it
have
smart.
toilet paper.
Wait,
So it's not.
You're not one of those motherfuckers that went out and bought up like all the toilet paper, are you?
No, but we definitely bought toilet paper. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you have fucking
people need
asses
toilet
to wipe.
paper.
Yeah,
But
you
was I
weren't,
that
like,
person? You know,
pulling
there
it
was,
off the shelves in like bulk into a like a shopping spree kind of way where you're just pulling like I need it all.
No, but there was. You know, you go into Dwayne Weed right now, and there is
Do you say
nothing
Dwayne,
on the shelves.
Do you say Dwayne Weed?
It's my new name for it because every time I say it, I picture the little bodega by your house called Dwayne Weed, the weed dispensary.
No.
But there's,
I love that because I've started to use it too.
yeah. So there's just like,
Dwayne.
there's just like signs posted that are just like, sorry for the inconvenience, but we're out of all paper products for the moment. But what's happening is the trucks are just pulling up in front of Dwayne Weed, and they're unloading boxes, and they don't even take the supplies out of the box. They just set the box in the aisle, and then people are just grabbing the entire box of toilet paper, which is something like 48 rolls of toilet paper. Yeah,
That's
and then
insane.
taking it to the checkout and buying it.
That's insane.
But if you want like ibuprofen or you want like
Regular shit.
cough drops with zinc lozenges, right? You can't get those. Those have been out for a while.
For the motherfuckers
Well,
that need
there was-
that zinc.
No,
Need
but there
that
was a
the
thing.
periodic table, baby.
There was a thing going around for a while that if you got coronavirus in the very early stages and you flooded yourself with some zinc through the throat, which is where you ingest coronavirus, that it would kill the coronavirus. So people got onto that. They bought all of the lozenges up, right, to make sure that if they got it somehow. But the real thing about it is that you don't know if you have it. Like I could have already had it like last week, and we could have already spread it to everybody in this house.
Bro,
and we
I could have had this shit on
we
the
don't.
plane. I showed up from New York the day I got on the plane. I had
Right.
something, like
Right.
I was fine the day before. I woke up and I was in the airport feeling fucked up and flew on a plane.
Right.
I showed
Was
up.
your nose running?
No, not really. Not then.
Ew.
Not then.
Did you have
no.
a fever?
Yeah, I definitely had a fever.
And you were coughing?
Not exorbitantly. No, not then.
Okay.
Not on the
Yeah,
flight.
it was
I
probably
just
something else.
Yeah, I honestly, I think it was something else. I didn't have that shit because,
Yeah.
like, it put, like I said, I don't get sick, but when I do, it puts me down for a week. This thing put me down for a couple days. I was maybe out of commission, like, felt fucked up, didn't really want to do shit, kind of fucked up.
Right.
Maybe 48 hours. There was, like, 2 days
Right.
I was like, I don't feel good. And then
And
from
a few
then...
days before, a few days before that, we went to the wedding, and Penelope got sick, right?
Right.
And then we got home, we tested her, and she had strep throat.
Right.
Both of those, her and you, were so early that it's very unlikely that it was
Right.
coronavirus, because there weren't even any cases known in the United States at that time.
Right, exactly.
But at the same time, we had no kits to test for anything.
Right.
Right?
And
So we don't really even have a clear understanding of how many people have it in the United States. We have
Right.
no clue.
Right.
That's by design.
And that's
Right?
I think that was what I was trying to lead to earlier with my point when I was saying like maybe this will wake people up. I feel like a lot of this feels like a dry run for something. And I'm not a conspiracy nut. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. But like just the timing of how this all kind of is falling out now during an election cycle in a term of a shitty fucking president, and now like he's up to his ass and ankles in shit. And the only thing that he's gonna try to do now is like these non-austere measures, so that his base will come out and vote for him if he does some shit like, oh, give them $1,000 a month, like the shit that they're trying to do now while they're scrambling.
Right.
It feels like a time for people to be like, are you seeing this? You seeing how they're moving, right? But I think it's gonna go the opposite way. Is that you see what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
It does. I mean, this is honestly the best thing that could have happened to the Democrats leading into this election.
You think so?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, wow.
For sure, because it's a clear-cut case of how Trump's actions impacts millions of people.
Well, this is what's crazy
country.
to me is that I've seen your rhetoric on social media uptick, especially in the political ways with friends of ours, which I hadn't.
Well, that's just because I've had a lot more time to sit around and check Facebook. That's why.
I've been like, whoa.
Yeah.
I was like, my motherfucking Larry, he's got a pointed argument here with parent, and it's and as always, you have ability to write with this tone that's like, look, pimp, I'm not so like in that silver lining guy way. You're like, look,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like the pizza thing, the pizza analogy with the
Oh,
I was
yeah,
like,
with Callaway.
yeah, I was like, yo, my man.
Okay, I want to talk about that very briefly. So we have a friend who wants to who's basically saying hashtag
Wait.
Democratic exit.
Before we go, do we want to use his real name? Do we want to give him a pseudonym? Or
Nah. Let's give him I don't want to offend anybody. So let's just call him.
Yeah, so like you don't have all that editing to do later. You know what I'm saying? Like you did last week.
Right.
Which
Just
I want
call
to talk
Nick.
about that too. I want to talk about that shit too. All right, Nick.
Okay.
Nick.
We'll talk about anyways. In very brief, Nick is a Bernie voter, and he's essentially has come out on Facebook and said, "Listen, I'm going to vote for third party coming
Right.
up. I'm not going to vote
Right,
for
I saw
Democrats.
that.
I'm not
I
going to
saw
vote for
that.
conservatives, right?"
Yeah.
And so, so I kind of engaged this, and it was all very. Nick is a good friend of ours. Like,
He's
there's no
good
way. Like,
people.
I would rather not have the conversation with Nick if it's going to lead to us not liking each other. You know
I don't.
What I mean?
I don't think that's going to happen from this. There was no
Right.
like aggression. This was actually it. Like I mean, there was another friend of ours that jumped in at one point, and
Yep.
I was like, oh shit. I was like, well, this is heat. Because that's how I social media. I'm a voyeur. I'm that motherfucker in the background in a like a dirge mask going play Salieri. You know? That's me. Play Salieri.
Right. So my whole take was, look, I think that I think a vote for a third party is essentially a vote for Trump. And then there was an argument against that, saying,
Right.
no, you're not voting for, that's not a vote for Trump, it's a third party vote, period.
Yeah.
And like, okay, yes, semantically, sure, it is a third party vote. It's not going to be a vote for Trump. But the thing about the Republicans is that they, no matter who you nominate for them.
I want you to talk about this, but I think we need to stay away from this portion of the explanation because I think it's going to bore the shit out of motherfuckers. Because I get it. I know exactly your point. I get all of that, but
Yeah.
what we into is not about political theory. Just be like, yo, he said this
Not
shit.
yet.
I said this shit. And at the end of the day, we were still friends, as opposed to last week where a motherfucker said some shit and we're no longer friends.
Yeah. Well, okay, so that person and that thing from last week,
Carl.
I've had extensive conversations with Carl, and the main
Like,
thing that
in the
Carl wants to
interim.
put, and the main
Wow.
thing that Carl has put forward to me is that he wants to essentially apologize to you and say I'm sorry. He said that flat out to me. Tell Rob I'm sorry. And this was after I went down and broke down some stuff for him. I like Carl a lot, and I didn't make this as clear as I could have last episode. Carl and I go back. We are friends. I was trying to keep that sort of out of the discussion because I didn't want to name who this person was, and I still don't necessarily want to name who this person is.
I don't want to either. And I
Right.
honestly, when I listened to last week's podcast, I was really kind of blown away on how you managed to keep Carl's name out of it.
Carl's name out
Because
that
I
a lot of
was
editing.
I know, and I know it was a lot because there was a certain point in our talk where I just stopped using the
Right.
alias. I was just like,
Now what?
this is what it is.
Right.
And you did a really good job of keeping his name out of it. So I was surprised, very surprised that one, he had listened to the podcast, and then
Yes.
two, he responded to you based on the anonymity of the situation that it allowed him.
Yeah. So I think the thing I didn't know is I didn't know that he was a listener of the podcast. Because had I known that going into it, I would have defended some things about him a little differently, right?
And see, why?
Well, because let's just talk about
Time
you're like
spent.
he's never left Evansville. He definitely has left Evansville, and he's lived in other places. He's more experienced than that. I didn't want to
So
go into
then-
it when you said it
so then
because
there's
we were
no
arguing about a hypothetical person at that time.
But see, even hearing that now, then there's no excuse. That
Oh,
if
I'm not
you-
saying it's an excuse. I'm just saying I would have defended. I would have corrected, not defended. I would have corrected that statement.
I see.
Right. I don't want to get into all of that.
Right.
All I
Right,
want
right,
to say is the thing that I proposed to him was that if all three of us were at a bar with cheap beer, we would have resolved that whole thing totally differently. What do you think about that?
I think that's
Yes or
true.
no?
I think that's a 100% true statement.
Me too.
It's a
Because
true
if
statement.
I know that he would buy you a beer, and I know that you would buy him a beer, and I'd buy you guys plenty of beer, so you just got the fuck over it, and we would have talked on a different thing. Not that either one of you needs to get over anything, only just to say arguments on Facebook escalate in a way. Even this one with Nick about this Democrat Bernie Sanders thing,
Right.
it feels more aggressive than it is. You know what I mean? And I know Nick. Nick is a good guy. Like, we could sit around and we could talk about this, and it would be much more fun to do it person on person.
And this is
whiskey
why.
whiskey.
And this is why I don't engage on Facebook. But
Yeah.
the shit that our friend Carl was pulling,
Sure.
that there were several attempts of me being like, leave it alone. Well,
Yeah.
why is this a rub? Why do you have to make this a thing?
Yeah.
And he, for whatever reason, and like the fact that I'm hearing like that, he's like it felt personal. And maybe
I think
it
yeah.
felt personal, and that's my feeling towards Carl, and has been since I've known him. And like I know he
Yeah.
grew up with you, and that's your boy, and y'all got time served. But when like I said when I read last week, anything that any interpersonal shit that I ever had with him, it always felt from a different angle. It always felt offhanded. It always felt like less than.
Yeah. And I think from his stance after he heard the podcast, it felt very personal to him, right? And that's why
as it
he
should
wanted
be.
to respond. Huh?
As it was, because
Yeah.
you personally come at me. I'm not supposed to personally come at you, and I feel like I said, you did a real good job of not naming names. So
Right.
like the fact that like he listened and responded in this way, kind of, I don't know, like especially like how he wanted to like be, anyway, I don't want, let's not beat this dead horse.
Yeah.
Let's move on to some actual other news, because
Right.
there's some like the PS5 and the Xbox, the new Xbox drop specs this
Right.
week. You checked
Right.
those?
I did. I couldn't make much heads or sense of the PlayStation 5 specs versus the Xbox specs.
Uh-huh.
One is more than something on the other. It's basically Super Nintendo versus Sega Genesis.
It is.
Who knows? And it comes down to what kind of software they're going to build for these games. The interesting part of the news that I found was that PlayStation 5's backwards compatibility isn't going to arrive all at once. Explain what backward compatibility is.
Okay, so backward compatibility means that like if you have disc games, like the actual physical copy of a game from the previous generation of a game, you can play those games, or those files will the new hardware will allow you to play the old software.
Right. So you can take a PlayStation 2 game, put it into a PlayStation
5 hardware console, and it will run it, which is something that a lot of like they haven't engineered them to do that.
No. PlayStation 4 will not play PlayStation 3, 2,
games,
1 games.
Yeah, none of that.
The first PlayStation 3 I bought could play PlayStation 2 and 1 games.
I thought so. I thought there was a time that they did do this though. This is what I thought
they did,
too.
and then when they manufactured it on the second or third run, whenever that was,
They took
that
that away.
chip out in order to cut down on costs to make it cheaper. So then it only played PlayStation 3 games, which was a bummer.
Which was I think to their detriment. That's not a good look, because
No.
the takeaway that I got from the specs. I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me, guys. The takeaway I got from the specs is that the Microsoft hardware, they have a stronger base. Like their machine is spec wise is better,
Right.
which for Microsoft is a boon, because they haven't had that ever. Whenever PlayStation has ever come out up against the Microsoft machine, the specs for the PlayStation have always been higher and better and of better quality. But now those roles are reversed. The only difference is now between the actual hardware is exactly what you just said. What are they going to make for these platforms? And for the market share of its time, PlayStation has hands down had the better exclusive. The better games that were made for this machine have been better across the board. Sorry, not sorry. There was a time where Microsoft used to be in the game. They had their known. They had their Halo. They had their Fable. They had games that you got
Right.
that system to play. or like developers were like, we want to build this game on your system. That's not been they've had a handful of those in comparison to what PlayStation has had. I mean, I don't even want to get the list out. It's something stupid and staggering. So
apparently the biggest.
Go ahead. No.
I would say the biggest difference between the PlayStation 5 and the upcoming Xbox Series X is that the PlayStation custom solid state drive is super fast. It's twice the speed of the Xbox Series X's SSD solid state drive.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It might be smaller, is what this article says, but the PlayStation 5's hard drive is going to smoke the Xboxes.
It means these games will spin up faster, and like you can go from playing to not playing like that.
It says developers might need to slow the drive down to keep games from loading too fast.
That's
whatever
insane.
the fuck that means.
Yeah, what the fuck does that mean?
But again, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. I think your point on what games come out for each system is always going to be the most important aspect of it.
Yes. What are they building for the hardware? Like if
Yeah.
you got all the bells and whistles and you got the dopest hardware, but you ain't making shit to do with it, then what's the point?
How do you feel about the PlayStation rolling out backwards compatibility slowly as the years tick by? Which is kind of what Xbox did, right?
Right. Yeah. They did. I feel like it's safe. I feel like it's a safe move. At the end of the day, if it means that you can play, your canon of games that you didn't sell back ever because, nostalgia or whatever, I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it. I think it just kind of, it's sort of like a real kind of shitty hedge your bet kind of thing. Why not just do it all in one? I don't know if this is just in them trying to meet the time frame and making so that everything is backwards compatible is just a really daunting, whatever the task is, whether it's coding. Like I don't know the process, but whatever the process is, if it's just not going to meet their rollout time, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Because it sounds like maybe they didn't think about this until like people were like, "Hey, maybe we should make this backwards compatible." Fuck, Mike, why didn't you say that like 6 months ago, man? This shit's already built.
Come on, man.
Isn't this your fucking job?
What's wrong with you?
Get out of here, Mike. You got Corona. Get out of here. Matter of fact, go get us Corona and then come back.
He's my nephew's cousin.
And then we'll all be locked down together.
I have more to say about all of that, but we'll move on.
Yeah, let's go.
Netflix basically should stop streaming HD, urges governments across the world.
Wait, what? Say that again?
The European Union is calling for Netflix and other streaming services to stop delivering their content in HD because they believe it'll help ease the strain on the internet. I'm not sure if you have noticed that your internet might be a little bit slower than normal.
Really? No, because I've been playing Red Dead Redemption on. You know what? You might be right. There've been a few little glitchy things. I'm like that hasn't been typical for online with Rockstar.
Yeah.
So you might be right.
I've definitely noticed things during the day.
Like,
being
what do you
like,
mean?
holy shit, this internet is slow as fuck. I don't know, like trying to upload things or open
no
pages
shit.
or like I'm trying to take a poop and open up this page to get my news ready and all of a sudden it doesn't open.
You know what? You might be right because I was literally trying to deposit my check remotely, and the app was giving me fuckery. It was telling me like network error and all kinds of shit. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I gotta get this check in, son. What are you doing?
That's right. So according to Screen Rant, even Netflix has been impacted by the outbreak, with some of its productions coming to a halt. These are the TV shows. Stranger Things 4 has been delayed. The Witcher has also stalled. The second installment of The Witcher is stalled. Season 2, the star Christopher, or does it say confirmed? Okay. So Season 2
what?
star of The Witcher, Christopher Hivju, whoever that was in The Witcher, has confirmed to have contracted respiratory disease from the coronavirus. Oh no, this is Game of Thrones, dude.
Oh,
Who's supposed to appear on The Witcher? Oh, so it's both.
Is it Vesemir? He's not playing
what's his
Vesemir,
name?
is he?
I don't think so. It's the redheaded dude from Game of Thrones, Christopher.
Oh, the one who's in love with the giant.
Thurimer. Who's what?
Who's in love with the giant girl?
Yes, exactly. So
Who
he's
was
supposed
in
to be
Fast
coming to
and
The
the
Witcher.
Furious 6, 7?
He's in one of those, yeah.
Yeah. Yo,
Anyways.
what a crazy day. This day has been fucking insane. I can't even.
this week has been insane, man. I mean, it's yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't want them to stop streaming HD. To be quite honest, I don't know why. I don't understand why. Think apparently they've already taken measures to sort of like not overload different.
This is your privilege talking, Lawrence. Lawrence, let Netflix... the HD go. It's not necessary. No, you can watch it in standard definition, Lawrence.
I will not watch Castlevania in standard definition.
Lawrence.
It looks too good.
Listen to me.
Hey, are you all right, man? You stopped talking there for a minute. It got kind of quiet. Are you okay?
A Netflix spokesperson has informed that further discussions on Thursday. Something. Sorry, I didn't have this ready to go.
Ugh, dead to me.
Yeah.
You're fucking dead.
I know, it's awful. Don't worry, I'll cut that part out.
That you'll fix in post? You ain't shit, Lawrence.
Just that.
You ain't shit.
I don't want to look dumb, Rob. I don't want to look as if I haven't planned all of this in advance with all of my new time.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
So the EU is apprehensive over the possibility of the internet cracking under the strain brought about by HD from Netflix basically streaming HD content to everybody who's now staying at home.
Well, yeah.
But how do we decide like what is important? What is more important than HD streaming? What is less important? Wow. I would say your check deposits are more important.
Yeah, I would say that. I would definitely say.
I would say watching cat videos on YouTube less important.
Less by a lot. but not for nothing, I gotta say, when there was a couple of days where I didn't get out of bed and I was drinking, where I watched a lot of cat videos, bro. And
yeah,
not for nothing, they gave me a little life. I'm sorry. I know. I'm part of the problem. I'm the first to admit that. Because I love them little cat videos. So, they make me angry and mad and happy at the same time. I don't understand the emotions that I'm filled with.
I know something else is going to make you happy and more happy and not angry or sad.
Did you say happy and happy?
Club, happy and happy and not sad. Portland Strip Club has rebranded itself as Boober Eats amid the coronavirus shutdown.
Boober Eats. Yo, that reminds me of some news I read where Vegas is now offering drive-through lap dances. Look it up.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
That's what this is. That's what I'm talking about.
But you
Portland
said in Portland?
Strip Club Lucky Devil. Yeah, Portland Strip Club Lucky Devil has no choice but to adapt. So
that's funny.
They are introducing Boober Eats, the world's first delivery service where your delivery driver will also show up and show you her tits.
Really? See, I feel like that is mad unsafe. What I'm talking, like the one that I read about in Vegas is basically a drive-through, like a McDonald's window where you just pull up and they just like I don't know. I guess I don't know how the lap is involved when you're in your car, but I guess to just dance in the window with their titties out. I don't know, but yeah,
You're sitting in your apartment in Sacktown. You're like, man, I'm hungry. What are you gonna order?
So they bring you food and then they show you their titties?
I'm asking you. I'm going to explain it to you in the hypothetical.
Okay.
We're going to take this step by step, Rob. We're going to work this out.
This is the best part of it.
So what do you order, Rob? What kind of food? You're hungry.
I mean,
any food
right now I'm feeling some Thai. I think I'm doing some pad Thai, maybe with some curry. I don't know if it's going to be green or red. I don't know.
Okay,
I gotta see it.
You don't order that because you have to order food from the strip club, the Lucky Devil. But strip club Lucky Devil offers or features, depending on what verb you want to use, a full food menu and plenty of non-alcoholic drinks as well. And so, in order to stay open, just for deliveries, they will deliver their food to you to your door. And as you take the food, you will be shown someone's boobies.
Do you have to pay extra for the boobies?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know the answer.
See, because if it's like Uber, you've already pre-tipped. So are they just gonna just walk up? Here's your food. la 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 la, you get like a 15-second shake and then walk off, or is it like, can I offer you a
This
drink?
is brilliant.
Is it?
And we should have led with this.
It feels mad
think it's-
unsafe.
I think I'm sure it's unsafe. You could catch corona. You can still catch coronavirus in
It feels
booze.
mad unsafe. And not just in the corona way, in the like SVU kind of way, bro.
Right. Well, I think it's included. I think all you have to do is order their food.
Okay,
Right?
so
And then
they come
and
over,
then they will deliver
hand
it,
you a bag,
flash you.
and then good day to you, sir.
Good day, sir. And leave.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess I gotta ask: do you get to choose the boobs you see? Like, is it like I would prefer a D cup? I would like. I'm really into A cups. Like
That-
Is
that
it
is the
a
next-
get what you get kind of thing?
That is the next step, but I would say no, not because they can't do it, but because it's harder to do. Like at the restaurant I work at, it's just it's a guy named Carlos and some other guy.
Yeah. And
or
what if you're
another
gay?
dude.
Like, can you
And
order?
so-
Can you order the opposite? Like, if you're into
If it's slow enough, I think you could request Carlos specifically to come and flash you and give you your food. But if it's busy enough, Carlos may be out with like two other things on the opposite side of town. And by the time Carlos gets back, packs up your food and delivers to your place, your food's going to be cold. Or you got to wait an hour for Carlos to come, right?
So you're saying there's far more women doing this than there are guys doing this.
So far, it's just women. It's
Just
from
see, I feel like
the
that
Lucky
is
Devil.
I feel like there's a whole niche market that they're missing out on. I mean, if ladies are getting it in and getting their money like that, why can't I deliver some Chinese and then throw my dong at your door and you pay me for that?
I'll put a dollar market on it. I will deliver your food to you, flash you not only my abdomen and my pecs.
Abdomen? No,
Yeah.
I'm talking full D. I'm like, here's your food.
Oh, full D. Here's
full
my
D, writing. Here's my D, and no tip. Okay, no
Well,
tip. That's cool.
Let's talk price points here. $5 for the boobs for me. If they
Easily.
want to see my full D, it's a 20. Yeah,
Wow, really?
I
Yeah.
value myself. Yes.
Well, excuse me. I was gonna lowbrow some people. I was gonna be the sort of like hit me with the 2 for $5. I'll let you see it twice for $5.
I legit
That
think
kinda
it's
dude.
included though with the delivery. I don't think they charge. I think they're just trying to sell their food and keep their business open.
This is insane.
They're making their strippers who have no other
This
job
is insane.
because the sex work industry is like decimated from this.
No, listen. No, I promise you this. The sex industry is the oldest industry in the book, and I promise you that one will survive. It's the oldest
survive.
industry in the book. They are fine. They will be doing like in times
They're
like
not
this.
fine.
In the times like this, motherfuckers will definitely be like, I gotta find this money to go see this prostitute because if she say go get more toilet paper one more time, I'm gonna burn this bitch to the ground. Like,
According to Huffington Post, it's called "How COVID-19 is Driving Sex Workers Like Me into Crisis. The pandemic and the panic that surrounds it are a real and present danger for sex workers." So maybe don't make a joke about this,
Yeah.
bro. This is some serious shit.
So you're saying too soon? Okay, my bad. Yeah,
Too soon. I'll read this article and I'll have notes on this for next week.
Please do. It's always better when the news is a week late and you can't do nothing about
Yeah.
it. You're like, oh yeah.
Oh, they also stole my headline. It says, "Love in the time of COVID-19 means redefining how we can be intimate with and support one another. Whether this involves donating to crowd funds, buying digital content, or doing sexy quarantine play, there are ways to engage with and uplift sex workers in a time of crisis while benefiting from our services."
Well,
Listen, I'm all for it. If I want to deliver, if I'm going to order food and somebody wants to come and flash their boobs to me, and they're
You're
not
gonna
going to
tip 'em.
charge me on top of that, I'll give them an extra tip. Sure, why not?
Well, see, that's because you're Mr.
If
Silver
it's
Lining.
helpful.
You're Mr. Silver Lining. The first question I'm asking, I'm like, is that included in the price of the food? Great.
Right.
I'm sorry, I just don't have it like that. I literally just ain't got nothing on the horizon. My whole career game has been wiped out for the foreseeable future. But
Right.
appreciate them titties though.
Not to
Thank
mention the food's
you.
probably terrible. The food's
Thank
terrible.
you.
At a
And then
strip club food? Come on.
Yeah,
it's the worst.
And then you close the door real slowly as you go, thank you. Click.
Did you ever hear, real quick before we go, did you ever hear my dad's story about going to a strip club burger joint when he was a teenager?
Wait.
Maybe in his early 20s.
I think he did tell me the story. Go
Long
ahead.
story short, I'm pretty sure he's with Uncle Bill and maybe Doug, or maybe it's just the two of them or some combination. And they go to this burger place. They go up to the woman at the counter. They order 2 burgers, right? And it's a promise. I think there's like a sign that says you get a free dance with every burger that's ordered or something like that. There's no one in the place. It's empty, right?
You serious?
So they're like, yeah,
there's a sign up?
Yeah, there's a sign
awesome.
up. And so they're like, they order the 2 burgers, right? And the woman goes back and she makes it. She's, whatever. She brings the burgers over. And she's not like she's not like the type of person that you would probably prefer to see dancing, right?
Oh no.
And so they're like, yeah, what about the dance? There's no one dancing. There's the pole or the club or the thing over there, the stage, and there's no one dancing on it. And she's like, okay, hold on. And she takes off her apron.
Oh no. Oh no.
And you see where this is going.
Wait. I do. Wait. Did you say this was in Florida?
Yeah.
Where were
probably
they?
For sure. I don't know. I want to say Chattanooga, but that's not Florida.
Tennessee? Really?
Maybe. Who knows?
That seems
Birmingham.
you got to find out where this story took place because just based on what it sounds like, I imagine Florida. That's why I asked you. I was like, wait, did you say this happened in Florida? You got to ask Pop. Where did this take place? Because that's amazing. She was like, wait a minute. Yes, all right. Hang on, honey.
I think she might have been. Yeah, and I think I got the story wrong. I think she was mid-burger. I think they ordered the burgers before they came out.
And
they were like, "Isn't there a dance that goes with this?" Right?
It's just like, all right, honey, hang on a second.
She went up, did her dance.
She put a couple more patties down, and then she went up and did a dance. Came back and flipped them shits.
It's one of my dad's favorite stories. I've heard it probably 10 different times.
I love your dad's
let
story.
him tell it.
Your dad has some of the dopest. Oh my god, yeah. Pops,
Well-
Pops. I know I talk a lot of shit on this thing, but like, look, this shit is not. You and Mom's is fine. Like your mom and dad are gonna be fine. They're not.
Yeah, sure.
They're fine.
Yeah, they'll be okay. This has been What We Into. I'm your host, Lauren Style, also known as Mr. Silver Lining.
And I'm your boy, Rob Karma Robinson, as always. Cheers.
You can send it. Cheers, yeah. Have a drink. Everyone else is drinking.
Yeah.
Right?
Everybody, bro. Everybody.
You can send us an email at whatweinto@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook by searching What We Into. If you go to iTunes or Spotify, we're on all the major platforms for podcasting. Please subscribe. It helps a lot. If you want to donate to the show, you can hit us up at patreon.com/whatweinto. And that's about it. Check back next week. Coming up for the next episode, we're going to do a contagion and quarantine sort of movie type things, that kind of general discussion, as well as talking about some other things that we've been into during this first week of coronavirus, which is probably actually the second week.
It's
right, but the first week the kids have been out of school, so for me it's the first week. Right? Week 1.
You might as well call it year 1, bro.
Year 1.
You're in the trenches now.
Could be.
Hey, you know what? Honestly, as a postscript for this episode, I feel like these episodes have been getting a lot realer.
Yeah, well, there's been a lot more real going on, man.
Yeah, and I guess as evolving humans, we're on a platform that's called What We're Into. We are into the real.
We're into it.
Happy birthday, Jesus. My best friend's gone. He burned up inside an Oakland home. Rare and wild. Brother, worker, husband, father, and son.